This is now the 20th anniversary of the publishing of the astronomically and agriculturally corrected biblical Hebrew calendar. This is the temple calendar that was in use until the year 359 of the Common Era, when the modern Jewish calendar was put in place. A year and a half ago, I knew that September 21st at sundown in Jerusalem would be the first sliver of the new moon, and it would be Yom Teruah. But this past year, there has been a barrage of false prophecies coming out about the great sign in the heavens of September 23rd of this year, of 2017, in which they were saying that this is the great sign in the heavens that is spoken of in Revelation 12, called the Revelation 12 great sign, etc. And I was adamant about this, that this is not the great sign. I'm going to read this to you so that you understand the difference, because we have to define these things biblically. We cannot abscond with biblical references and prophetic declarations and then take them over to our own usage. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a great sign in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, travailing in birth, and pained to be, future tense, delivered. And then it goes down to verse 5, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. This particular chapter is one of the parenthetical chapters of the book of Revelation. It goes back before the birth of the Messiah, the man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, who was caught up to the throne, because the dragon, as it talks about this, stood before the woman to devour her son as soon as he was born. And that was the entire picture that we have in Herod, that wanted to destroy the child, the revelation that came to the Chaldean astronomers to go back another way. It's all wound up in this particular thing. And then it takes us all the way to the last 3.5 years, the last 42 months, times and a half of time, 1,260 days. This is speaking of the great sign that preceded the birth of the Messiah, that the Chaldean astronomers were searching the heavens for. That's what this is about. And what happened when the September 23rd great sign, false prophecy, when this hoax began coming out, I started speaking out against it, and then I ended up just slipping a gear and saying September 23rd would be the day of trumpets. It is not the day of trumpets. That is the day of the false sign. And this is what this false sign is. And this is why they had to move it. First of all, a great sign in the heavens is happening on August 21st. That great sign in the heavens goes from the west coast, from Oregon, all the way to South Carolina, where this will be the American eclipse. This will be the first time since America's become a nation in 1776. This will be the eclipse that is seen completely across the United States of America. And this is what is so important about this. There will be an occultation, a covering of the star Regulus, the king's star, which is between the feet of Ariel, the line of the tribe of Judah, also called Leo. It will be directly over Regulus, and then the moon will cover directly over the sun. That will be the day of August 21st. Mercury and Mars are both in conjunction with this occultation. And what this is speaking of is the war coming soon. Mars and Jupiter, the war coming soon to Israel. And this is the warning that is being seen in the awakening here in America. Now, when is Yom Teruah? Yom Teruah is September 21st at sundown in Jerusalem. And at that time, that is when there will be a great sign in the heavens, but it is not the great sign in the heavens. A great sign in the heavens, that is when Venus is in conjunction with Regulus. Mars, Mercury, the sun and the moon at 2% illuminated 5 minutes after sunset. And then Jupiter, which is the righteous, will be not at the feet, but in the belly of the woman, Virgo. Now I go back to the very beginning, and the great sign in the heavens, the new moon, was beneath the feet of Virgo, Betula, the woman, the virgin. At Yom Teruah, the day of trumpets, announcing the upcoming birth of the righteous king, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and the planet Jupiter, Hatzedek, was in conjunction with Regulus, the king's star. That was the sign they looked for. Now we have a mass conjunction. Regulus, the king's star, in conjunction with Venus, Mercury, Mars, the sun, the moon, Jupiter, and it is in the belly. The travail is about to begin. And so we have our glasses ready for Yom Teruah. I'm planning on being in Israel because you will need these for the thermonuclear war, and they'll come in handy on August 21st as well. So make sure that you understand that the signs in the heavens are what the Almighty says they are. And we're not going to change dates just because the moon will now be beneath the feet 3 days later. So this is our last update on the solar eclipse coming up. Stand by. The brimstone is about to hit the fan, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like it's it. And if it isn't, we will wipe the sweat from our brow and say, we've got a little bit more time to get the gospel of the kingdom out to the world. But we're not going to ignore his signs in the heavens. We're not going to ignore his times or his seasons. We are not asleep as the rest of the world. We are not children of the darkness. We're children of the light, and this is our time.